Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're working on this miserable beast of a machine called a Grom. You can see the corrosion on it if you zoom in really closely. Don't zoom in really closely. But right now, we're having a corrosion-related problem. And it has to do with the master cylinder. Is this free right now? Yeah, this is free right now. And if I press this down, like that, you see I'm like locked in. And it feels stiff now. Well, over here, you're locked in. And that's not good. But if I do this, I get it back. So that tells me that it might lie here where the issue is, and it might lie here where the issue is, because it's not like releasing the way it should. So I haven't bled the fluid. That's a good idea to do that, because maybe moisture has gotten in there. Don't know. I've taken apart the caliper, but I thought it was okay. It looked like any other caliper on the inside, so I just kind of disregarded that. And I've looked at this. I haven't taken it off yet, but I figured it might have something to do with down here. That all being said, my thought is, well, what if I make a spring that fits right here, like a hardcore, spring? I did order some online. These are the springs I got off Amazon. As you can see, they are not adequate. So I could take this. This is a compressed spring. It's supposed to be for expansion. But if I stretch it out and like cut off a portion of this and then stick it into here, it'll push the pads apart and then temporarily solve my problem. It's a hack job solution. That's what I might do. So it'll work dynamically, not statically. Like the screwdriver only works when you put it in, so it's static. Dynamically is when it's always compressing the pads apart, and it's a compression spring. Or sorry, pushing the pads apart. It's a compression spring at that point instead of an expansion spring, which is what this is. It's for my window wiper. And I used to use these for doing exhaust brackets and stuff like that. Similar to what you would see right here. I don't have it installed right now. They're in another spot, probably in this video somewhere. Brought the bikes in, but I also forgot to install two of these guys. These are for your exhaust. They're kind of rusty from, lending my bike out and going into the winter time and not being washed, this, that, and the other. But I can show you guys quickly how to install these guys. So we're gonna expand that and we'll hook it on here like so. Just have that dangle down and you grab the spring with your tool, just like this, and you just pull this up, let off there, and boom, your spring is now installed, as you can see there. Pretty simple stuff. We'll probably attach those today. I still have to move these guys back to here to attach to here, so this all becomes one piece at that point. Haven't done that yet. Probably do that tomorrow. Maybe not. Who knows? Probably not tomorrow, I'll be honest with you. So I have to get my torch out, expand that a little bit, then it becomes a compression spring instead of an express. Anyways, you guys know what I'm saying. And I want to put the spring right here to solve that problem, and that way I can put everything all back together, and at least this part of the video would be done. Like the chain would be the next part of the video, because this is not really a chain anymore. So I'm going to devote a whole video to doing that. I might do that tomorrow. This is what happens when you ride in the winter time and then don't grease your chain. This is what happens. Same with the rest of the bike. You'll see corrosion all over the place. Like, it's disgusting. It's what happens when you don't wash your bike after you've been out in the rain, or in the winter time. But that is neither here nor there. We're trying to fix the problems, and I didn't cause them. So anyways, enough jibber jabbering. We're going to get to work on that and figure out what I can do to fix this stupid thing. So we're going to actually start by bleeding the brake. Then I'll make my own little kit. I'm going to drink the rest of this water. Got a little hose down there, and we'll bleed the brake caliper and see how it goes. Might clear it up, might not, but we're going to try first before I do the spring idea, which is a bit of a hack job. Here we use the water bottle as our brake reservoir catch for all the fluids that come out of the caliper. So we use an 8mm socket or wrench onto the nipple of the caliper with the hose on top of that. When we loosen it off, lefty loosey righty tighty, and pressing down on the brake master cylinder lever, fluid will come out. Once the brake master cylinder lever goes up to the bottom, you tighten off the cap, and you continue that the whole process until it's clear. So there was a definite improvement. It's not like yellow anymore. You can see here where it's clear, and then you can see down here where it's kind of yellowy, as you can see there. So that's the old fluid. So you want to make sure it's nice and clear. I don't think that was the problem. As in the wheel is still doing its thing. No real difference. It is getting still hung up. I believe that the problem lies in the master cylinder. Now that we reattach the side cover, it's on to going into where the master cylinder is located. So we're going to remove that whole apparatus so we have access to the master cylinder to see if there's anything that we can do or change to make it better, clear it out. I am going to add some fluid in there. So we have taken apart the caliper in the previous video, greased everything up, put it all back together. We still have the same problem. We've changed the fluid, as you've seen. Still have the same problem. Taken all apart, taking a look into underneath the skirt of the master cylinder itself. Spray lubricant up there, no change. So it has something to do internally, but if I add my spring idea, the hack job, it will push this all apart, and it'll make lemons into lemonade. That's the next part about what we are going to be doing. So we've got our torch. We're going to heat up the spring, stretch it out, and then we're going to have it so it sits just in this tiny little area right here. And that way, when it gets compressed, it will mechanically. Yeah. So we tried this 3 times. It was on the 3rd try that we actually got it to work. This is not the best way to do things, but we are literally using what we have on hand. And because Amazon failed us, this is the next best thing, which I've done multiple times, but I've never used it to expand or stop compression. Basically, I use it to contract when I'm holding on exhausts on like a dirt bike, or exactly on like a dirt bike. Many times I built these springs to hold on exhaust. 3rd time's the charm. So this is it with it released. We'll zoom in a little bit, and I compress this. I compress it again. That does get a bit harder, but it doesn't fully lock on the wheel. So that is a slight improvement. Excuse me knocking over my torch. And as you can see, I still have the issue. But it's a slight improvement. My hope is once I get the bike running and whatnot, I can work it back into being functional. So I'm going to call this a C- pass. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions for this issue and how I can rectify it, like, my only other thoughts are replace the entire thing. I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that. And I don't want to pull that thing apart, as in the master cylinder, to clean it? I don't know. So we're going to leave it at this. We're going to call this a C-. It's barely a pass. It's functional. And once we get this bike up and running, we're going to see whether issues come to the surface. That all being said, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.